Hi, I'm Chris Cox from the Design and Manufacturing Futures Lab at the University of Bristol, and today I'll be talking to you about my paper, Demystifying Digital X. This paper aims to start understanding and clarifying the language used to describe the current paradigm shift towards digital engineering. In the next few minutes, I'll explain the need, methodology, and results for this study. With the advent of Industry 4.0, the development of new digital technology continues to accelerate, and engineering practice as a whole is transforming rapidly. However, due to the speed of this change and the number of different actors involved, no cohesive vocabulary has been established, and instead a chaotic and transient lexicon has emerged. This has led to a rise in various terms of the format digital X, such as digital transformation, digital twins, digital threads, and more, though currently not all of these terms have a clear definition. If we want to fully leverage the advantages offered by Industry 4.0, we must mature our understanding of the lexicon surrounding it, so that we can communicate our needs, capabilities, and strategies clearly. This paper's contribution is to start analysing the vocabulary that has emerged within Industry 4.0 and to propose an early framework of this terminology to gain some understanding of how these terms affect each other and what they mean. The process followed is shown in this flowchart, starting with the curation of a dataset of academic documents. Having previously identified that many emergent terms were of the form digital X, we chose the initial terms digital transformation, twin, thread, and tapestry. These phrases were then searched within the Scopus database, and all results were pulled up, processed, and the most common phrases and keywords found in the full text were identified. Using these initial results, a few more common digital X terms were identified and fed back through the same pipeline to produce the full dataset. This dataset was then analysed to identify the usage, popularity through time, and co-occurrence of these digital X terms. Here is a quick summary of the dataset that was produced, including the full list of search terms used and how many results were found for each term, totaling almost 20,000 papers. The results from the usage analysis are shown here as word clouds of the most common bi- and trigrams, as well as the most common author and index keywords within the dataset. As well as showing which digital X terms are the most prolific, namely digital transformation, technology, and economy, we can also see what other technologies and concepts are core to Industry 4.0, such as Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and more. In the future, it would be beneficial to extend this methodology to include these additional terms in order to fully map the space within Industry 4.0. Here are the results from the temporal analysis, looking at how frequent each search term is through time. Accepting digital technology, each of these terms has relatively few publications prior to 2015, at which point academic interest increases. We see that digital technology is the first to gain traction, followed by digital economy, transformation, and twins. And while digital manufacturing starts to increase in popularity at the same time, it has much less success, implying that some of these terms may not go on to become fully adopted. The terms digital thread and digital engineering have relatively little uptake across the entire timeframe shown, but in the last couple of years have started to increase in a similar manner to digital twins in 2015 and 16, so these terms could be part of the next phase of new terminology, or not. Only time will tell. This co-occurrence analysis was conducted to identify the links between the different terms by looking at how often they co-occur on the same papers. The left chart shows the raw numbers of co-occurrences between terms, with the diagonal values showing the total number of occurrences of each individual phrase. The chart on the right shows the same information, but normalized with respect to the phrases on the X and Y axes. The key findings from this are that digital transformation, economy, and technology are all fairly closely linked to each other, and that digital twins and threads have a very unbalanced relationship, with twins featuring heavily in work on digital threads, but not vice versa. Having seen some indication of the links between these terms, it is proposed that there is a framework of digital X, within which each of these terms sits. It is clear that digital technology, transformation, and economy are all closely linked, and as the most popular terms, it's very likely that these sit at the top of the hierarchy. As there is limited overlap between these top three terms and the rest, it is likely that there are some missing links within this framework, and it's expected that these missing elements will not be of the form digital X, which is why they wouldn't have been captured in this analysis. As there is still a lot of uncertainty in this framework, significant further work is required to make it fully realised. To conclude, the language around Industry 4.0 is chaotic, and many different interpretations of the same terms exist. Luckily, it seems that there is some order to the chaos and an emergent framework has been identified, but significant work is still required to develop this idea further. This work is not without reward, however, as it is expected that having a universally agreed lexicon will make discussing digital engineering concepts much easier, therefore enabling better strategy and planning, as well as boosting communication between all parties involved in Industry 4.0. Thank you very much for listening. I would welcome any questions that you might have.